Hey, it's Michael Quinn here from Pubs and Diner Diaries. We're right by Stone Street, the iconic, historic Stone Street. We're going to visit a couple of restaurants today. Let's head over there. Hey, I'm here with Anthony Malone on Stone Street. Anthony's the owner of Gran Via and Underdog.
Michael, it's good to be here. It's a little chilly. Let's go inside.
Let's do it. All right, got some coffee. Anthony, Stone Street had such a long history. It's actually the oldest street in New York City, I believe.
So they say.
Yeah.
So they say. It's the oldest paved street in New York, I believe, is where it got its name.
And, as a kid growing up in New York City, there wasn't that many restaurants and pubs around here, and that started around a little over 20 years ago. What brought you to Stone Street to open up this establishment?
Well, my partners have been down here for many years. Harry's restaurant on the corner has been there 50 years, just as late last year. And Ulysses was the first major place to open after 9/11 down here. That really kicked off Stone Street and made it, I think, sort of famous for being a downtown scene. So as places became available on the street, we sort of took over various stores. This was a Subway sandwiches before. We took it over in
I remember
2010. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we've just been growing since then, and having this great sort of scene of bars and restaurants down here.
Yeah, I was there opening day, June 16th. Ulysses.
Wow.
Absolutely. I remember.
You're dating yourself now.
God, I don't want to reveal my age. But this place is very interesting. It's a little bit different than some of the other places on Stone Street. I'm looking at some of the details. And what brought you to this theme of Underdog?
Well, at the time when we opened here, there were quite a few Irish pubs on the street already. So despite being Irish and being in the Irish pub business, I wanted to do something a little different. Offer a little bit of a choice from the other Irish pubs. So we went in a more American direction with this place. We focused on a lot of craft beer that was really coming up and becoming very popular at the time. And then later on introduced American whiskey and American cocktails to that beer mix. So making what we feel is an American pub.
American pub, not just Irish, but American.
Irish,
yeah. So what are some of the challenges you faced during the pandemic? Now, I mean, there's challenges, but maybe also advantages because you do have the outdoor area, as opposed to other locations, other restaurants and bars that didn't have that opportunity to.
Yeah, we were kind of lucky in that, not just that we had the outdoor space, because everyone had the outdoor space, or many people had it available to them, but we were known for it. So people who had been coming to Stone Street for years prior to the pandemic, maybe in their minds made an association with, well, outdoor dining is happening still. Stone Street's the place I know for outdoor dining. So I think we did a little better than most when it came to outdoor dining initially. We were happy how it turned out for us, relative to how terrible things were. But also people felt a little bit of, because there's so many places that are near each other, it felt a little more festive down here. It felt a little more like normal, because it was like, one bar here, one bar there. You can go from place to place, as opposed to sitting out in the road elsewhere in the city, which, although we did it, didn't feel great at the time.
Yeah. Now, for many years this has been, well, they're now known as FIDI and more offices, but now it's becoming more residential. I think in the past you probably relied a lot more on people going to the office, which they weren't going to the office during the pandemic. So how does that affect your business as far as residential as opposed to people coming to work and going for drinks after work?
We always did have a nice mix of residential. Going back quite a while, it's been residential and developing as residential for quite a few years now. But the story hasn't ended on what people's relationship to offices is going to be in the future, or how that's going to all reach some state of equilibrium. We are seeing some folks come back, not 5 days a week, maybe 2-3 days a week. But we do find that when they do make the trip into the office, they like to take advantage of being here to socialize and come visit the bars and restaurants in the neighborhoods.
Can you give me a generalized overview of your food items, like a list of some of the food items that you have on the menu?
Again, being an American pub, unsurprisingly, we focus on American pub classics: burgers, wings, great sandwiches, also some healthier options too. But for the most part, kind of fun, indulgent kind of stuff. We do a lot of plant-based food here too, so we're trying to take every box and make everyone feel comfortable and welcome.
So Evan, tell me about your other location next door.
So right next door we opened up a really fun tapas bar called Gran Via. It had been in our company before as a different concept, and when it didn't reopen after the pandemic, we thought of different ideas to use the space, and we all landed on Spanish tapas, which is something that we all enjoy. None of us are from Spain, but I kind of feel that Spanish tapas bars have a lot in common with good Irish pubs. You know, I know traditionally in New York that's seen as more as restaurants, but as I understand, in Spain, the tapas bar is the pub, the local place where people gather. So we took that philosophy, what we know about pub culture and dynamics of pubs, and applied it to a Spanish concept. So a good bar with even better bar snacks.
Completely different concept that we find
Very
here.
different.
Completely
Very
different. So what's the vibe like in there? What's the whole?
You know, it is. We try and make it as convivial and welcoming and open as possible. You know, we don't want it to have the formality of a restaurant. We want people to feel like they can drop in, have a drink, have a bite to eat. Don't have a bite to eat, or just have a bite to eat. You know, it's not very formal.
And you have live entertainment also, correct?
Thursday nights we have live flamenco music. Yeah,
that's nice.
That's a crazy night.
Gets into it. Yeah, very nice. And what are some of the menu items you have at that place?
Over there, some of our most popular things are croquetas, jamon iberico. We have a great octopus dish, gambas. You know, a lot of very traditional Spanish tapas fare. And yeah, tasty.
So they have more people would go there for wine as opposed to a pint.
In general, that's true.
Now that we're hopefully coming out of this pandemic, you know, people going back to the offices and trying to get back into their regular routine of life, it seems like the restaurants and pubs of New York City are leading the way in bringing people back. Can you tell us more about that?
I think it's very important. I think if the pubs and bars and restaurants aren't returning, there's not really a lot of incentive for folks to come back to the office. I think it's really important that we're here as an amenity facility for them, in order to feel like their life is getting back to normal, even if it doesn't always make immediate financial sense to do so early and to stay open during these tough times. I think in the long term it's a very important display of confidence and intention about your neighborhood and about being there for the neighborhood. So I think we have to always be the first ones back on the line.
You're a significant component in the fabric of New York City. Making this,
critical component.
I agree.
You know, it's not the easiest place to live in the world, but if you ask everyone's top three, food and drink will be up there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anthony, for having me here today. This is just a wonderful place, and I want everyone know to come to Stone Street, to Underdog and Gran V. Where are we located?
We're at 55 Stone Street as Underdog, and Gran Via is 57 Stone Street, right next door.
And this is Michael Quinn for Pub and Diner Diaries.